A client hires you to do a mix for $10. Think about it for a second. Just to hit the switch on the lights should be $10. Welcome to the Rhythm Studio, where we're talking percussion, music production, music technology, and again, today, business. I'm Warren Henry. If you haven't done so already, please hit the subscribe button and the alert bell so that you can be notified when we release new videos. That said, let's get into it. So, now that everything is in place, you've got to think about how much you're going to charge the client. What is that based off of? In a local market, it's based off of whatever the market can sustain. For instance, if you're making $25 in New York, you might only make $15 in Kansas. So you got to keep that in mind when you're setting your pricing schedule. Another thing, repeat after me. Time is money. There is no way you're going to build a successful business using services like Fiverr. Sorry, it's not going to happen. You're not going to be able to build a successful business on that business model. It is impossible. I'm not saying there aren't people on Fiverr that are doing okay. It's a side hustle, but by and large, a client hires you to do a mix for $10. Think about it for a second. Just to hit the switch on the lights should be $10. Just for you to sit in a chair should be $10. They want $10 for the whole thing, soup to nuts. Time is money, folks. Don't let people cheapify you. Cheapify. That's a funny thing. Know your value, know your worth, and charge accordingly. Which brings me to my next point. There's a pricing methodology, I guess you could say, in marketing called penetration pricing when you're starting out. And sometimes it's very necessary in the market. For instance, a couple of videos ago, I said, what differentiates you from the guy down the street? Now, if you both have the same systems, what's going to woo the client one towards another if you have the same exact thing? Pricing. So you may have to lower your rates in the beginning just to woo the client. Here's a caveat. If the client gets hooked on your rates and you never raise them, what are they going to do? Keep coming back to you, lowballing you, even after you continue to upgrade your service, upgrade your equipment, upgrade what it is that you're doing in terms of your knowledge, your know-how. They're going to continue to come back because now you've gotten them strung out on $5 an hour. At some point, you've got to say no to $5, yes to $15, and if the client balks at that, let them go. They were not meant for you because they were only there because your prices were cheap. They don't value your business and they don't value your time or your effort. Let that type of client go. Point 2, when meeting a client for the first time, it's best to have your rate card on your website. A lot of people don't do that. I do, because this way you know, after you visit my site, what I charge by the hour. Now, is there a degree of flexibility that you have in your pricing? Sure. If a A-rated talent comes to you and says, okay, well, I have a regional following of 500,000 people on Instagram. So if I do my project here, can you give me a break on the rate? Sure, I'll give you a break on the rate. It was 75, but for you, I'll charge you 55, and you shout me out in the next Instagram post as to this is where you're doing your work. That's a win-win relationship. It's good for you, and it's good for your business. Your business is getting the exposure and the money. They're getting the product and the service that you provide. Win-win. Good for your business. Marketing. How do you get started with marketing? What you would have to pay a marketing firm for or an advertising agency for back in the day, Facebook has all that built into their analytics. Who the client is, where the client lives, what the client likes, how much the client possibly may be willing to spend. That is a very, very inexpensive way of advertising your business when you're starting out. Google Ads is another thing. They have all of the marketing and the analytics based on your region built into this interface. So it makes sense for you to start there and try to locate your first group of clients. Revenue stream planning for downtime. If you are a musician, what are some revenue streams? Playing in a wedding band, being a music copyist, being a music teacher, being a music event planner and coordinator, providing live sound for churches or for live events, video editing, being a business consultant yourself. These are all viable revenue streams that you can count on. They will save you during downtime and keep a little extra dough in your pocket for the future. Investigate a revenue stream of your liking. Hope this information and this series was helpful. Like this video by giving it a thumbs up and sharing it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for tuning in. Please subscribe and don't forget to say hello to the family for me.